So welcome back. There's where we left off in our last video to how to create a REST nest instance. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to add a service to the repo, because as you recall, when you take a look, these are actually empty and we don't have any collection uploaded here yet from the repo, so we need to set that up. That's all done in the OpenAPI, but first let's go ahead and just stop the server here. Get rid of that and close the rest of this down. So it's already been prepared. This OpenAI picked that up from the OpenAI side. This is what actually was in there originally. Copy and paste that into this preliminary directory. I'm going to go ahead and copy that down to our new one. OpenAPI config. This OpenAPI config might actually be in a typical services repo, and the Postman subfolder is actually a template that can be copied into that service. And the same thing that we're going to do here can be do there as well. So we're going to go ahead and put this in config, and we're going to go compare it just to see what those differences were between the two, between the OpenAPI and this new one. Compare those two. So basically what got added was for the server, there was a description added to make it prod, to make clear that it was prod, and as well the API key authorization, which is also, if we go all the way down to the bottom here, you'll see that that was also added so that it would know which type of authorization was being used. This API key, of course, is being referenced on top. So that's what was added. We are then going to dereference that script. But first thing that we're going to do is we're going to continue to take a look at this pack inside of this OpenAPI inside of Postman. And like I said, this folder is the one that could typically also be copy and pasted into a service, and then on CI/CD merge to master, the scripts could run that we're running here, which are actually in this pipeline. There's an example of how that's done. At any rate, it's a series of scripts that get run here, one that generates, one that transforms the OpenAPI, and another one that uploads the collection. So let's go ahead and move what we have in that previous project under OpenAPI Postman. And we'll go ahead and compare those two. And here you can see that this has been updated to include our GCP project ID. All of these parameters need to be given over. Workspace ID, we're going to have to change that, and the workspace name because it's new. The rest of it can remain the same. So let's go ahead and take that here. This base file is actually where all of the information about the Google project Postman API key, basically any information that's gathered during the time. All we need is the workspace ID and the workspace name. So let's go ahead and change those values. And the ID. Add that. So that's saved. So now all we have to do is, let's just close this all down so we can see what we're doing. And so this is all taking place obviously inside of OpenAPI. We're going to go ahead and generate. And that generated the new spec. We're going to run the script that we just modified. And we're going to upload that collection. And you can see here that it's been uploaded here into this collection. Our server's already been stopped, and if we want to, you'll notice though that these don't have any. This service is not yet loaded into the collection. We need to still take care of that. That's back over here. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And while we're here in the base JSON, we also need to add to the required service repo collections the one that we just added. And so let's just go ahead and add openAPI true. We can save that. So we can close that down. And now we're ready to go back and run the start, which will take that newly uploaded service and re-augment it into our collection. Which it's doing right here. And as we see when we go back, we'll see that a new one's been connected. And now we have our service in our service collection. As more services are added, they get added here as well. And this single collection is what gets forked to the other service. That's what we're going to be taking a look at in a moment, where we're going to be looking at scenarios and triggers. Until then.